So with me today, I have the honor a third time to talk to Neil Twa with Voltage Digital Marketing. So Neil and I, we've gone back. We know we had a mutual connection, which by the way is the only other person I've had on the podcast 3 times. And so you're the only other person, and that was Matt Harward. And I've had Matt on the podcast, I think 3 times, but some of them were multi-parters because we talked for like 2 hours or something like that.
Yeah.
So we got to know each other through that. And if you don't know Neil, so Neil Twa, T-W-A, if you're wondering, how do you say Twa? Neil owns Voltage Digital Marketing, or Voltage DM. And he's like an Amazon genius. The last 2 episodes that we did with Neil, go Ecommerce Alley, just go search Neil Twa plus Ecommerce Alley. You'll find those podcast episodes. We talked heavily on Amazon, and Neil's done over $100 million in FBA and private label products. He like teaches this, he does it. He's grown like crazy in his business. But there's some interesting things that Neil's been doing, especially as we've rolled into 2024, that I really wanted to bring him on for. And I'm hoping we could dive into some of those interesting things today around that, Neil, around things like TikTok shops and some of like how you're noticing these crossover in algorithms between TikTok and Amazon. Because I know a lot of people listening, me included, we've heard of TikTok shops. I don't even, to be honest, I know this is pretty bad. I'm like so head down in what I'm doing. I don't even know how they work. So excuse my ignorance, but I'd love to even know that. And then some of the things that are happening on Amazon. And so I hope I encapsulate everything. And the other thing too, as a side note here, is that Neil also has a book called Almost Automated Income on FBA Fulfillment by Amazon, which I think the word almost is such a brilliant usage of the word almost. Almost automated.
Almost automated.
What's genuine? What's fully automated? I don't even know if there's a thing.
What's fully automated? Yeah. I don't, that doesn't really exist. Neither doesn't. Truly 100% passive income. You always have to keep your hands on the wheel. Even if it's 30 minutes, it's still, but 30 minutes is somebody else's 30-hour work week, is somebody else's 30-hour day.
Yeah.
So it depends upon how you approach it, I guess.
So my wife Kelsey and I, we're in real estate and buying properties and stuff like that. And that's another one that's like, oh, real estate is passive income. I'm like, yeah, well, who picks up the phone call when the door isn't unlocking for the person coming in from Airbnb at 10:47 p.m. at night? You know what I mean?
Like operation manager who gets on and deals with the operation manager who's dealing with the person who needs the keys and stuff. So you still have oversight and management. And again, what's passive? Anything below, in my mind, 10 hours a week is passive. If I run a business and have 10 hours a week of involvement in the company, that's considered passive. I think when people get to that and where it gets a little bit off the rails in the whole hopium mindset, make money, space of opportunity and never touching anything and just magically having the money fairies throw things in my bank account, is this idea that you can do nothing and make everything. And it is so backwards. And that actually, for those who are listening, and even you and me, the bar is really low right now. The bar for success and opportunity is literally anybody who takes action right now and takes action. You're going to win at something. You just need to get out there and win. Figure out where your vertical is, right? Figure out where your game plan is. And I chose Amazon a while ago and discovered that and stayed with it, and then moved into Shopify and resale and other places to move our brands out. We're going to talk a little bit about TikTok Shop because it's volatility and growth and just new market share that it's taking on and all the things they're doing to incentivize and how easy it is to get some things recognized. And we'll talk about how that crosses over. But I will always preface that I am not 100% Amazon all things. I am other channels and multiple business opportunities, both M&A and acquisitions. I always want anybody who is in e-commerce to have multiple sales channels, omni sales channels. Very important. If you're not on Amazon because you don't like it, but you're on DTC and you're, we can play the whole Android versus Apple snotty thing and start a battle of the, brands, but I don't care. Use them. They're all tools. And you should be on all the channels you can be on to grab sales. Because as a business buyer, I don't want to buy I don't want to buy a single channel or a single product. So neither will anybody else who wants to buy your company later on. And that's what you should pay attention to.
It's interesting because you're coming from the perspective, like you come from Amazon into the other. I come from D2C to people asking me about Amazon. Like I have people that will like join our programs and we're teaching, we're working with. They're like, hey, I'm on Etsy. Should I just shut that down now that I'm doing like Facebook ads to our Shopify store that we're leaning into? I'm
never stop the revenue, man.
Yeah,
never stop the revenue.
Don't kill the goose that's laying the golden eggs, or even consider like I had a client last week tell me her Facebook ads started getting traction on her store, but her Amazon sales went up. because people were finding it and they were Googling. So there's all of this crossover. Yes, exactly.
Great word. Yeah, we see up to 18%, up to 20% crossover on Facebook ads, traffic, et cetera, ending up on Amazon and buying the product because they trust that it's a buying system. They trust it. They know it. They've been there long enough. Their kids know how to do it. They expect that product to show up in 2 days, or they know what they can do. It's a very trusted channel. It's 28% of the market share in the United States, right? Amazon is way up there. Walmart's like 8%. They're way back there. So they are the behemoth. So you should be on there if you have an e-commerce brand selling products online. You just should. There's no more like could I, would I, should I. You need to. You're losing ad spend. You're losing money. You're losing up to 18%. If you do the numbers at 10,000 to 100,000 a month in paid traffic, do the numbers. It's found money. Go get it, right?
You know what? I realized. I think our first podcast was how you found $100 million on Amazon. I think that's what it was called.
Found money. Matt Harward was a part of that for darn sure.
I love that.
And a lot of my other heavy hitters, including my own personal brands, and one of them's been online for 10 years, and we've had multiple brands we've bought, sold, and raised up on Amazon. Yeah, accumulate way more than that, but I don't want to get in trouble. In that it's closer to $500 million in sales. I mean, Matt himself was doing $60 million a year on Amazon when we launched him in 2014. Was his first e-commerce channel. And by the time he sold that business, the Amazon channel was over 60 million in sales a year.
Is there are there any things any situations where you would say your product would probably not do well on Amazon based on price point, margin, blah, blah, blah?
Any ideas or inventions will not do well on Amazon. Amazon is a mass market of current product appeal or trend product appeal. So it is no longer a discovery platform because people are discovering products in other places online, Instagram, TikTok shops, etc. It is a brand portfolio business model. You need multiple product types, etc., and they should have market competition already established for them because that's the psychology of the buyer. They're there to buy things they know. They're not there to go research and do information gathering. They've already had that audience conversation topic, like Matt and I have discussed in the past here, and you and I have discussed, to go out and decide if that's a product that I want and research and do information and then end up buying it on Amazon. So you have to understand the psychology of the buyer between each of these platforms. And quite honestly, that's what takes the most time to learn. The mechanics can be taught to a 19-year-old high school dropout. Ask me how I know. The end result is it is the mechanics that don't make the money. It is the psychology of the buyer and the product. So a product cannot necessarily cross channels unless you understand to some degree the psychology of the buyer from Facebook marketing to Shopify to add to cart in the same way you would understand it on Amazon and the way they're going through an add to cart and the way you would understand it on TikTok shops. And going through, or even your own website. There's a different process in person at that different stage. You learn what they're doing and conditionally go through the exercise of understanding and then realize you should plan your products for an omni-channel strategy. You should know that if I launch it on Amazon, it's a competitive place, not saturated, competitive, and that I can sell another widget like someone else. But I can also see those on Shopify. I can see them as a brand. I can see multiple products, gears, accessories, and a different product so that I know if I move something to Shopify, there's a market established line already over for that kind of product. It's already in demand. Okay? That's why I start on Amazon, because I know I can go backwards easier if I set certain metrics. For us, it's minimum 50 to 150 in retail price point. If I'm going to go acquire a customer in the DTC world today, you know as well as I do, with CPMs going up and other challenges and even glitches on Facebook's system this week, screwing around with CPMs, then you have to get your numbers correct. You have to be able to acquire that person. I would love to acquire them profitably on the first purchase, but that's not really how you should think about business, is it? Right? First customer acquisition is not about whether it's profitable. It's about, did I acquire them? Profit behind that acquisition is a bonus.
Yeah. Well, and I would also say it might depend on the type of product. So
it depends.
Yeah, that's the answer to everything, right?
I know, it depends. Which is why I'm setting like a gauge that says, okay, it depends, but above this metric, it's much more known, it's much more experienced, much more obvious. Yeah, anything below 50, and it depends. You cannot necessarily acquire a person for $15 on a product on Facebook anymore. You might acquire that 15 for 30. So unless you have great follow-up, great systems, and additional branding and product portfolio to sell them and know that in 30 and 40 days, they're going to buy a second or third product from you to make that first acquisition at $30 profitable, you're not properly tracking. You need to know not just the AOV, but the CLTV, the customer lifetime value. And at that point, if you're not doing it, you're going to lose to guys like me and Matt. We're going to go out and buy all that traffic away from you.
Dude, so just real quick. So I was on a subscription box podcast a couple hours ago.
Cool.
And we were talking about Facebook ads and how I think, and she's like, well, what strategies, like what's the first thing you would do? I was like, the first thing I would do is I would determine what I call the 31-day lifetime value and the 61-day lifetime value for a box.
Smart.
Because today they buy, you're probably not going to be profitable, especially on a box. But 30 days from now it renews, that's the 31-day mark, you have payment number 2. So do I cash flow on that, or do I cash flow in 3 payments, which is 61 days? And if you know that and you're consistent, your revenue will trail your ad spend until eventually it snowballs beyond that. And everyone else who doesn't do that, they live in volatility because they make emotional decisions day over day versus looking at large time frames, and they lose.
100%. We're in the same boat. If you can acquire them and know they're going to stay for an average of 4 months, and you know you could spend up to $200 to acquire that person and make $200 off of them, then you now have a business.
Yeah.
So we look at it on Amazon as their metrics tied to our metrics because we're playing on their platform. And TikTok Shop is a platform, and Etsy is a platform, and so on and so on. So you have certain platform rules and referral fees and other costs associated with those things to play in that network. But I do know one thing: they know their data. They know their data better than anybody else. Okay, so I can leverage that as an asset. And what I do know is that out of the 150 million people a month that are on Amazon, I know that they have their lifetime value tracking is, by their own admission, is $1,000 over 12 months. So what do I need to do then, Josh? I need to sell enough product enough times under subscribe and save or continued purchases or additional product purchase until I can reach the person who's willing to spend $1,000 in a 12-month period on Amazon. That's my opportunity.
Yeah.
Right. When I understand that, then I got to go get it. So the idea that I launch a Me Too product or a one-hit wonder is no more the game. That was 10 years ago. I still see people talking about this. The idea that I launch a multi-product portfolio with multiple variations where I get 10, 15, 20 SKUs selling in the marketplace equal to 2 or 3 or 5 or more purchases, either through repurchasing products, purchasing additional products, subscribe and save, etc. I'm shooting for $1,000. They have to be able to buy that from me. So I either need to sell a $1,000 product one time, right? Or do the math.
Yeah.
I got to sell more product at lower prices. Once you understand that, then you realize why I play in the $50 to $150 range. I do that because I want the profit above that so I can get growth, which means I'm going to buy up your customer base that you won't be able to. And then I'm going to have the profit to get more inventory, which you may not be able to. And that's going to lead me towards the opportunity for scale, which means in time, I will have products that will reach variable of sales level until scalability is just a byproduct of time in market. And I don't think a lot of people understand that, right? They believe because of the 17, 18 years of overnight success that can be done in 30 days. And they're believing that. They're watching 6-second TikTok shorts and all this other stuff constantly with people talking about how easy it is to do it. Business is never that easy. It has components of it that are easier, certainly than certain aspects, including life on a plane. Like I went through 300 years, my last year of IBM. I don't want to do that anymore. That doesn't, that's, you can say you push the easy button, but at the end of the day, I was just a number and they said, oh, by the way, your number's up. That was not so easy anymore. So choose your hard, as I like to say it. You'd like to choose your hard. Is it harder to be a business owner? Is it harder to be poor? I don't know. You tell me.
Yeah. I feel like, Neil, you're just like the older version of me that's just been through a lot more crap. Like, because so many things you're saying, I'm like the guy in the choir or the guy in the things like, preach it, pastor, like preach it. So no, that good stuff. And I think that like, so many play the small, they focus on the micro when you have to look at the macro picture. Like what is this going to look like as a whole? Like the fact that you reverse engineered Amazon data, $1,000 over 12 months. I can't have a $14.99 single product and be a single product business and expect to suddenly have that repeat like that.
No, you'll focus on the wrong metric. You'll focus on amount of units moved per day. And I hear all this all the time from people. It's because we looked at Jungle Scout, we look at these software tools and it says, this is how many units they're moving a day. I don't care. Then they'll say, well, this is the amount of revenues they get. I don't care. You're on the wrong metric still. Right? What I care about is a product that's profitable, no matter how many units I can get it to move based on its market share. That will be determined by how many units I can move it. Maybe I can only move 597 a month of that product. Okay, well, that product has $20 in profit. Yay, I go get 10 more of them.
Yeah.
People just don't think about this in a portfolio development, pipeline growth, business aspect. They think of it in the short term. I got a couple hero products and made 7 figures. And while that's all good and sexy, that is a lottery mindset mentality. That's scratch and sniff. That's the hopium guru mindset. We won't play that game. That's not the business game of the real world. And you will run into it at some point, even if you don't believe me right now. You'll find it, or it will find you. And be prepared, because you may not be ready for what happens when that occurs. You may go out of business. Oh, no. So ask me how I know. So as we continue the concept here, we want to make sure that while those of you who are listening to this who are Shopify owners, you need another channel. You can't argue you don't like Amazon. You need to figure it out. Or you need to go to TikTok Shop. If you're on Amazon and you don't have Shopify or TikTok Shop, but you have at least a 6-figure business running, get on one of those other platforms. You have to. It's now time. If you're doing more than 7 figures, it was past time already for you to do that. If you're just launching, as I say in the country, you can't ride 2 horses with one ass. So pick a vertical and go after it. Okay?
We'll clip that real fast, and then that'll be the reel that we'll post. Hey, so I want to talk about TikTok Shop, but before we do, someone probably listening right now is like, hey, I'm really interested in getting into Amazon stuff. So before we kind of shift gears to TikTok, you have so much stuff on Amazon. You work with people, you have programs, you have stuff like that. What's something we could link that you'd say, hey, someone listening, if you're interested in this, here's a resource or something you should check out?
Absolutely. Free trainings in my email and follow up. Go to voltagedm.com. It's Voltage Digital Marketing, voltagedm.com. Hit get started. Check out the free trainings. Get on the email. I send out a 3-part series that is over 5 hours of heads down, getting started, 5-step topics you can follow along to understand what the heck to sell, make sure that it's profitable, understand how to brand it correctly, understand how to get the traffic out of Amazon and the right ways to go, and then understanding the entire business model is what we do. The business exit is the strategy. It's the end it's worth more in the end than at any time during the business building phase. You should always be building for exit. There's never been a better time, to build a business that can reach 8 figures in 3 to 5 years. It used to take decades to get to an 8-figure business. I got guys doing that in 3 to 5 years. So we are in such a time of abundance that it surprises me how scarce and limiting everybody actually thinks right now. And that's your opportunity. If you're not that person listening to this call, then you're going to understand that process. You're also going to understand, for example, that I don't work with everybody. So when you go through that process and follow that data, you're going to find out I only work with 5 to 7 people if I feel I can get those qualified people working because of the kind of model we go after. And it is really going to be building business and brands with the exit in mind. Okay.
Awesome. VoltageGM.com, everyone. We'll include that in the notes as well.
Right on.
All right, so let's kind of shift gears. TikTok Shops. I feel like I've seen you use it talk about it in a couple different ways. I've seen even you selling and having like selling as a shop, as a creator or whatever it is.
And as a
creator.
Yes.
In some days you're posting, I made $500 today. I made whatever. Now, that's all intriguing. Can you just start with how do TikTok Shops work? Like you're explaining this to a 5-year-old.
Well, here's
they
where
probably know more than me, honestly.
Well, here's where I try to tell a 5-year-old: make sure you get mommy and daddy's permission to get on the internet. Number 1. Number 2, there are 2 sections. The way that TikTok is fascinating, and for all the things I don't like about it, and potentially its ownership questions and other data problems that I will disclaimer here right now, I am not a huge fan of that either. But then again, I remember this system and all the other systems we work on today also track us. So don't be so hypocritical. So there's my disclaimer. Number 3, the affect of this is 2 parts. They had created a platform, a social media e-commerce platform. Okay, Amazon has gone backwards. This is one of their non-innovative things by taking an old associates program and trying to turn it into an Amazon influencer program to get user-generated content creators to come over and promote products and make money. Now it's growing kind of fast, but it wasn't geared to be that way. So the systems aren't connected very well. TikTok built it with that option in mind. So they started with the idea to get creators and people on the platform creating videos, and they're now introduced TikTok Shops, which is where you can buy those products directly through the platform from the influencers that recommended it to you. So it's very seamless, very easy. It's social media creation on demand. It makes it the year of the creator, as Business Insider said it. So that literally what I did was I set up a TikTok account. I applied to become a creator, which means I could create UGC content. And I put videos up, not my face, just talking over videos for products that were recommended, products I actually knew and liked, and I just told people about it. Well, all of a sudden, I'm making $100 a day on a few videos, just throwing them up there to see what would work. Right. And I'm like, wow, that was easy. Talk about your stupid side hustle. I don't usually pontificate and talk about side hustle or hobby businesses. I talk about real business. So there's an opportunity to become a creator who can become a brand owner. That's my caveat. And that's where Shops comes in. So if you become the influencer of a product you like or would not, your opportunity is to set up the Shops side, which would be the equivalent of a Seller Central account for you, those of you who are on Amazon, or signing up for Shopify to become a seller, where you can actually put your products on there. They're not hard to list. They're actually relatively easy to list. You can even tie integrations from Shopify and Amazon directly to TikTok for fulfillment and for pulling the listings and images and everything you created in those other platforms directly to TikTok Shop in just a few clicks, which is really cool. So it takes you no time whatsoever to get online. They are right now for the next 90 days giving you free shipping. So if you got a product where you want to make more profit and you won't want to pay for the shipping for the next 90 days for those people who sign up, TikTok's paying for your shipping. And they have onboard integrated shipping, which is pretty cool. So as you get the product you ship, you click, you push, you boop, and out the door the product goes. They send it to your 3PL, and it's out the door. You need a US-based 3PL, and right now it's much easier for US creators to do that. There are some certain workarounds, and I know I'm going through this extremely fast, but this is my 7-year-old version now.
All right.
Is to get those products in there and get them moving. If you can drop ship the products from your 3PL, then that's what they allow right now. There is no fulfillment center. You are the fulfillment, which means drop shipping is like 2014 all over again on TikTok Shops. Okay. And the CPMs are extremely low. And with the connectivity of the affiliate center in that shop, you can literally go for open collaborations, which is like, hey, everybody, I have 100 units, ask for a sample. And if they ask for a sample, then you can approve them. So if they've generated traffic, they got a high following and they want a sample, you approve it. The sample gets shipped out. They are now obligated to give that product a video review or it will ding their account. So once you give a sample, they have to leave a video. And when they leave a video, they can earn a percentage of commission as an affiliate for that video. You set 10, 15, 20, 30, 40% commissions, your choice. Typically, we say get to 15 to 30% commission on the creator side, so you make enough money from your videos. But if you're on the product side and you want to get somebody involved, give them enough commission to really incentivize them. Why would you want to do that up front, even if you get a very low profit out the gate? Because there's an SEO, organic, viral component of getting your products up inside of that affiliate engine that will draw the attention of many other creators. And when it starts to go up, TikTok will push your product by itself up faster because it is now seeing the signals of other creators making more and more videos for your product. It becomes a search engine affiliate-based engine, which is very fascinating. And you can actually jumpstart it right now by going in and setting up that, say, 100 units of samples you're going to give away. When that comes, it's like a tsunami. So you give away those products to all those creators, and then they start dropping content. And like a tsunami, that content starts going off. And if you have 100, there's a good chance 1 to 4 of those are going to go viral. You're talking about millions of people seeing that for your products. Now, Tammy just messaged me this morning and said, as of this morning, I sold out and got sold out within hours. She's selling out faster on TikTok than she can keep up. She's doing 10 times her average daily sales and 4 to 5 times their average daily sales on Amazon. It's cray. She says.
Oh my goodness.
I'm literally reading that from a text message she just sent me right before we started this. So she got a video, is in there, and she got her promoters, launched her products, and it's taking off. And because of that, for Amazon people, pay attention. Because of the connectivity between these platforms socially and the signals that they're each looking for, that is signaling to Amazon, hey, this is a product that's going crazy on TikTok. They're watching it to see if they should promote it on Amazon because it might be a new hot product and they want all the Amazon people to buy it too, right? And so it's also sending 25% of her traffic over who didn't quite trust the TikTok thing yet. So they're going to buy it on Amazon where they trust it. So her Amazon got this huge lift. And it's staying up there because it's now signaling organic ranking, and those videos are continuing to send clicks over. And Amazon's going, yeah, we love this. We consume it. And because of that, it's ranking her higher and faster in Amazon and increasing her sales organically. So now she can't keep in stock. She's having to hire more people and get more products moving and go like crazy to keep up with demand because it's going fast. So to recap, creator can be like a side hustle where you make money. We created a simple profit playbook. to go do that. It's kind of a sub of our Voltage playbook for people who want to just go to creator, create brand, become a brand creator, and just make money passively. We got people. I got a lady I connected. She's not in my account in full transparency, but one of the reasons why I got really hard into that was I was watching her make $20,000 days as a TikTok creator. And I messaged her on Twitter, which is now X. And I said, what are you doing? Where can I go? Give me some information. And she started teaching me the process. So I started throwing up some videos and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is stupid simple. You want to make $100 a day? It's not that hard to do. You promote other products, you make an affiliate commission. It's so much traffic. It is crazy. Then if you want to be a brand, it's TikTok shops. It's really easy to set up. It connects to an existing TikTok account. So if you create a TikTok account, you just go over and open the TikTok shop side. Then you can list all your products. Go into the affiliate center and start hitting a bunch of people up. And basically, you can see how much they've made. You can see how many reviews, how much they've generated. You can see everything about that affiliate. And then you can invite them to come get a sample of your product. And I would encourage you to do 10, 20, 50 of those to boost the virality and the sales and get to opportunity, of that viralness to push your products forward. Whatever videos work, you can go in and use what's called a Spark ad post. That means the creator who created the video that pops off, you can ask them, hey, I'm going to get you a lot more traffic. Can I get your Spark code? Or negotiate up front, hey, if your video goes well, I will advertise for you. And then you take that Spark, you put it into TikTok ads, and you can now promote their video from their account to your product link. With all the social proof and all the goodies that comes with it inside of the system, you can now promote that to your own shop directly and shoot for the moon. And third part of that is that I am discovering right now in my own experience, and I will continue to talk about this as I learn more of my own experience with my own shop. I am seeing very similar organic rankings occur from the SEO side of TikTok inside of their environment. Now, this is very fascinating because I haven't seen that on another platform like this since the early days of Amazon. It certainly doesn't happen in Shopify and doesn't happen on your own website. You've got to go out to Google, Yahoo, etc. to get any of that organic traffic to come to your site. This is all on the same platform, which makes this extremely fascinating, right? And I'm watching this SEO virality come, and I'm also seeing how viral that can go by pumping it with traffic. Even if it's non-converting traffic, it is ranking the search engine on TikTok Shop right now.
So this is what you see in Amazon, because I know in Amazon, one of the big pieces you've told me is that like when you run ads, you can increase your organic ranking, and then you can stop ads, and you've basically planted the tree and it'll collect for a long time or a certain period of time.
You can do it correctly with the data on Amazon first, so that when you run ads second, you know you're simply putting gas on fire. If you don't know the organic is ranking properly in the system, Amazon's going to take your money because it wants to take your money. And if you're giving it to them, why not? So if you're not getting the organic benefit, then of course you're going to pay for the traffic. If you get the organic benefit first and you pay for traffic second, you will add gas to fire, which means your ad cost will eventually come down. And in some of our proven case studies, if you want to give it a shot, you might even turn that off completely and see how well that brand continues on its own without ads inside of Amazon. But there's, again, a caveat for anybody who's listening to this. If you don't know it's ranking organically before you put ads on it, they will simply take your money and force you to continue to pay for those ads to keep your ranking. Where have we seen that before? Facebook. Okay. You know, when you put right. So they borrowed the same thing. If you go in there and you start paying for ads on your page inside Facebook, they will stop your organic growth and then force you to pay for the traffic.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Facebook's more like
happening in these other algorithms.
I think what's interesting about this is that like Facebook is pretty much like a faucet. Like you just turn it on, you get the traffic that you need, you shut it off, and it stops.
It stops. Yeah,
but you're saying that like TikTok, when you have paid component behind it and traffic, even if it's non-converting, you're seeing it affect the organic rankings of things.
I am seeing it in my own account right now, and I will be duplicating this across other accounts. And Tammy that I just mentioned is going to be looking at this, and I'm having a couple of my other sellers look at it too, so we can get patterns of behavioral data, not just guessing. But what I'm saying right now, though, is I am seeing that occur, and I want to continue that data process until I can speak in 100% confidence that that is actually what's happening. But I know what is happening. I know the SEO engine piece of the keyword ranking is a big part of TikTok now.
Wow.
So when you get into the piece of that keyword tracking, et cetera, and you tie it to the right user and their video goes crazy, you will be able to ship like insane amounts of products. In fact, the largest seller, Guru Nanda, just went above 1.1 million units moved in 6 months. The store has only been open for 4. One of my old students on Amazon way back in the day who went forward with Amazon. They opened a TikTok shop about 8 months ago. They are now the largest candy seller on TikTok Shop. They have a 5,000 square foot warehouse in Idaho, about 20 employees, and they're pumping out candy faster than they can get it to the post office to ship.
Oh my goodness.
So it's just absolutely blowing up on their candy store. It's a huge opportunity to take advantage of that traffic, the free shipping and getting involved even imperfectly with if you're on Shopify or Amazon, getting that store open on. It is a brand discovery platform right now. Be very clear. What does that mean? Okay. Brand discovery. What does it mean? If you want your brand to be aware, if you have a new product you want to be aware, if you want people to know who you are and whatever channels you are on, that is one of the biggest benefits outside of sales, of course, that you're seeing on TikTok right now is a brand discovery platform. New things can be launched to new people and then put on other channels and watch the whole thing lift. It's very fascinating how quickly that's moving.
I just had a conversation with a really good friend of mine who he's on Amazon. He has his own direct-to-consumer, runs tons of Facebook ads, Google, and he just leaned into TikTok ads in the last month and a half. And I met with him 2 weeks ago, and he sells supplements. And it's like for joint pain and stuff like that. So like his ideal demographic has arthritis and a little older. And we were looking and talking through his numbers and his stuff, and he said they're like tripling down on TikTok shops right now, even with their demographic being generally older. They're seeing this tremendous growth over there. So I was excited to talk to you about this. Like, have you seen certain types of products do like really well and some not do as well?
Yes, supplements are tough because you've got to get approved by TikTok, and their policies are extremely tough right now. Okay, anything on the mouth or the skin is really tough. That's one of the things that was easier to do on Amazon back in the day when it first got going. But it's much harder to do on Amazon. Now, TikTok Shop already followed those kinds of policies across the board, so it is difficult to get approved or stay approved on skincare and supplements on TikTok. Electronics and pets are blowing up, and anything in the home and kitchen is blowing up. So those are the three areas right now on TikTok where it is just wide open, wild, wild west. Get those products on there and see what happens. You could blow it up. Pet supplements are going like crazy. Pet toys are going like crazy. Home and goods for the home are crazy, and anything electronic gadget wise are going crazy too. And the price points do range anywhere between say $10 to $25. I do see products now showing up in the 30, 50 and above that are doing great. Guru Nanda's products, its top sellers are around $20, just to give you some perspective. And the additional products they have in their brand to round it out go between $20 to $200. So they're rounding out their entire brand with much larger product types that are also selling. But they're moving a lot of that and it's almost like a loss leader to some degree if you do the numbers. But because of that, all of the brand is getting raised up, which has pushed them past over 1 million units sold in such a short time frame, which is very fascinating to watch because it's just Wild West. And they're the first one to do that. So that was done on Amazon like 8 years ago. I mean, this is just happening. And that's why I want people to see, if you got brands, you got products, you're on Amazon, you got proven sales, it's not going to hurt you to get on there and find out how much you can get involved in. And the user-generated content is right at your fingertips to get people to go promote your product. You don't need a third platform to do that.
So you feel like right now is like that gold rush moment?
The golden hour?
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely, dude.
Okay.
I would give it till the probably end of this year.
Okay.
If I put my crystal ball out there and I said, what's the what? I'd say by the end of this year, a lot of that Wild West is going to be figured out based on the volume of activity that is occurring. TikTok will make changes. They'll just have to, right? And of course, they're wooing your sellers with that free shipping and other things they're doing to get you on board. And for a little bit, there was no store fees for anything you sold. And now they're going to push it at 8% on the store, which is not bad. It's part of the platform costs. But the amount of people looking for products and going is insane. The videos can pop off like crazy. There's specific formulas for how you talk about the products, and you can replicate those results over and over again. I'm trying to get that lady off of X to come on my podcast and tell everybody what she's been doing as a creator. If you don't want to be a product brand owner, you don't want to ship products, just go play with the creator side. Become a creator. We've got a couple 20-somethings in our Discord working on the Simple Profit Playbook, and they're crushing it. They're making one's making about $900 a day in profit right now, just being a creator.
It's crazy, man. Yeah. Wild West, Gold Rush. Those are definitely words to describe it.
It's fun times, dude. I haven't talked about stuff at that level since my first early days in Amazon.
Yeah, well, and there are little things that like kind of nudge in here and there that it's like, oh, that's kind of cool. It's like a new thing for a hot minute, and then it's gone. Like I even think of crypto? Like Reels. Oh, crypto. Yeah, there we go. I've been thinking
I just insulted all the crypt bros.
like Instagram Reels Reels were like the thing. If you just made Reels, you got this massive organic reach. And now it's like after it happened for like 6 months, now it's just like regular posts. It's just like regular reach. But this is like a whole different level.
Yeah, they were getting a lot of likes and clicks, but they didn't really understand how to monetize it. They didn't have a simple means to monetization. And with TikTok, that's where the gap is closed. Now that you get on there and do all that Instagram Reels and stuff on the TikTok side, you can actually monetize it. That was one of the mistakes that Instagram made, even YouTube Shorts and the Reels guys, is they didn't monetize it. And that's what TikTok did. And they made it very stupid simple for you, the creator, to monetize it to really good money that was worth your time. I get paid like $14 a month from Facebook for the posts that I make. And you know what I post.
Yeah, I do. I think I try to usually quote one post on here every time you're on. Just because it's always a good experience seeing what Neil Twa has to say.
The Twaverbs.
The Twaverbs, is that what you called it?
Twaverbs.
Twaverbs. I love it.
Twaverbs.
Well, you just posted something the other day that I thought was just really hilarious, but yes, I usually pull something from it.
Interesting.
But yeah, man, this is really, really, really fascinating stuff to me. I think we need to like move this. I'm glad you're pushing and leaning into this, but there's like so much opportunity here that for education and helping people with this, because like what you're telling me, I didn't know a lot of this stuff. Like the fact that you can then, you can invite people, you can get the samples out. They're obligated to then make a video. That's not normal. Normally it's like, oh, well, you do this, and they do it, and 22% of people actually.
They will get dinged in their account if they don't leave the review, and it warns them down to the point where they have to do it, or they'll gain. There's a 24-point system on the creator side. If you get past 12 points, you're screwed. You have to start over. So you can sometimes appeal that if you don't do it right, but one of those dings will come when you get a product sample that you don't fulfill the video for. Wow. So that's great from a brand perspective to know that that's going to occur. And it's not necessarily incentivizing. It's a balance of incentivization. And, obviously the review side that has to occur. I am not in control of the reviews, but the policies and procedures TikTok has put in place is to ensure the ethics of the review process are there, which I kind of appreciate in the way that that's being done. It is a little bit smarter in the way they set that up. And there are some challenges on the Amazon review side we have to deal with, which I think that they may be resolving some of that a little bit on the TikTok side to ensure the quality of that. But yes, creators to requirement is a big one especially for the brand. And I'm giving out a sample. How many do I have to give out before nobody gives me a review? Well, at this point, if I give out 10, then I'm going to expect 10 reviews. I'm going to spend 10 videos.
And then there's exposure from it, and people could buy right there. Like that's just so
straight from the video
powerful.
Through the link to my product. That's so seamless. It's so simple, right?
Wow.
I'm getting creators and I got a couple the other day I was excited about because they had generated somewhere around 100,000 in sales already on their accounts, and they were going to promote my product. So as soon as those videos go out, I'm excited to see what happens.
Wow.
With my products. But TikTok Shop is a Wild West, so be careful. I got one of my products dinged the other day because they didn't like something in it. So I had to relaunch the product and go back, and I had given out 100 samples. And so I had to go back and have my VA go through and notify each of those people. And I'm going to try to catch as many of them as I can to go back and add to the new product because the old product got shut down and the appeal was denied. So there is some AI stuff happening. So just be aware. Nothing is perfect in any business model. You're going to run into challenges. Just, ask for help and get around it or whatever, but keep going because there's huge opportunity to do this right now. And as Tammy's proving right now, the sales can go extremely fast for a product. And this is a product she's had for 10 years on Amazon, and she's about to sell more in the next year than all of the products she sold in the last 10 years on Amazon.
Incredible.
Yeah, it's a great multi-channel opportunity is my last word on that. Shopify, Amazon, TikTok shops for a good opportunity, trifecta, multi-channels. You're not going to get me to look at your business if you don't have that. And we got a $7.3 million deal on deck right now for a company we're looking to buy. And it has to have all those requirements.
I love it.
We're not going to buy businesses that don't have that opportunity. That's just the way it works. So if you're going to build a business, get it ready for sale. Do the right thing. Make yourself some money along the way and get all those channels open.
Well, Neil, I am glad that you have figured some of this stuff out and you're sharing this with me. I'm sure I'm going to get a lot of comments about this after. Someone's going to ask where they could go. If you have any recommended points of starting, do you have any resources now? I know this is so new that you could point to, voltagegm.com. I know. Is there anything you could lead to that you're doing or that you would recommend?
Yeah. Well, if you want to be on the creator side and you're not really a brand person, maybe you're listening to that over here and you're thinking brand, creator, personality. I just love to promote other people's products and not deal with all that. Go to voltagegm.com/simple profit playbook. That's simple profit playbook. And Tammy and her team, the two that I just mentioned that are crushing it, are creating both the brand side and the creator side. And there's a process, a membership, and a startup there that gets you online, gets you set up correctly, and get you creating your first videos, and get you to be a creator that could turn into a brand ambassador. Because we have brands on one side. Here's where I'm going. My big, hairy, audacious goal. I'm going to set it all out there. I have no interest in making that into a product like we were discussing earlier. What I have an interest in is pulling as many creators into my network as I can, put them on my Discord server, and then connect all my brands to them. That's what I'm after, right? So I'm building that and giving people the opportunity to learn what I did, to go out and make $1,000 a month, and literally with just a few stupid videos that are really easy to create. And I show you exactly the process, and Tammy shows you exactly how to set that up and get it going so you can become a creator. If that's what you want to do, go to voltagegm.com/simple profit playbook and grab that and learn how to become a creator of affiliate products on TikTok. On the other side of the house, we're going to be starting up soon and teaching our internal people in Voltage, inside of our business builders, how to get their shops online for that part of the business and get it into a growth and potentially scalable mode as fast as possible. That's not available yet, but we're still working predominantly. So I don't mean to put that out there and then pull it all back. But there's a lot of information. There always is on YouTube. Hopefully anything I gave you today will give you some insights and to glean some, trustworthy information forward into YouTube or anywhere else you do your research. Just know that at the end of the day, a lot of what you can do with TikTok shops right now, you can do just by signing up, getting your products in perfectly, and getting started. And that will begin the learning process to knowledge. Yeah, I would not hesitate to necessarily go wait for the expert to tell you this at the moment. I would just get started as fast as you can, even imperfectly. If you bail out, get another shop. It's really easy to get them right now. I have 5. And I have them all under the same information. So unlike Amazon right now, you can have 5 different TikTok shops all under the same information.
Okay.
Right? So that'll change. And that's why I said a lot's going to change in the next year. And they're going to probably restrict you down to just one account, one thing. They will. But right now, there's so much wild open. You can make mistakes. You can have 10 different, TikTok accounts running. I got 2 people that are now putting content into creator accounts that I set up and got started. And now they're putting content in and splitting profits with me. So I don't even have to manage those anymore. That are just on the affiliate side, and I taught them how to do it. So, get creative in business.
I love that. That's good stuff, man. This is good stuff. Well, hey, Neil, thank you for joining me. I appreciate it as always. I do want to end with one quote, and this quote is actually from Neil Twa 3 days ago, and it is, "When I die, stuff me full of popcorn and cremate me. My funeral is gonna pop off." So on that note, everybody, we'll leave you with that. And Neil, I appreciate you, man. Thank you so much. And everyone, we'll see you in the next episode.